Hello guys, welcome to another video. This one is paper 1-1 of November 2020 for A-level paper 1. So with that being said, let's move on to question number 1. So we have to find the set of values for m for which the equation and the curve do not meet. So whenever you see do not meet, what do you think about? You have to think about b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. That's where they do not meet. But first off, let's solve these equations. So here we have the line, here's y equal to mx minus 3. My equation number 1, and we have the curve, this plus 5, that is my equation number 2. So here we have y, here we have y. We can replace them in each other. On one side you will have mx minus 3 equal to 2x squared plus 5. Okay, so now we have to rearrange that everything to one side. You will have 2x squared minus mx plus 5 plus 3 equal to 0. So 2x squared minus mx plus 8 equal to 0. Now, this is A, this is B, and this is C. So b squared minus 4ac has to be less than 0, because we want to find the values of m for which where they do not meet. Do not meet means less than 0. Okay, so b squared will be minus m squared minus 4 times a times c. That will be m squared minus, so what is 4 times 2 times 8? That will be minus 64 is less than 0. Now, whenever we have a quadratic equation, we have to find the critical values of that equation. So basically it means that we take the same equation but we change that to equal to 0. We can just factorize. As you can see, 64 is what? Is 8 power 2. That will be m plus 8mn minus 8 equal to 0. So m will be the value of minus 8, m will be the value of 8. Now, this is not the answer because this is only the critical values, right? So we have to draw the graph. Because this is 1 here, positive 1, the shape of the graph will be something like this. This is 0. This is the first point, this is the other point. This point is minus 8, this is 8. So according to the graph, we're looking for the values which is below the line. So below the line, that is only true when the value of m will be less than minus 8. So between 8 and minus 8, not less than, but between those two values, that is when the value is less than 0 as required. That is your answer for question number 1. Now let's move on to question number 2. The equation of the curve is such that we have dy by dx given to you by this equation. It is given the curve passes to this point. We have to find the equation of a curve. So whenever you see find equation of a curve, it means to find the value of y. So you have to know this. How do you find y? Y is equal to integration of dy by dx, because you have to know integration is a reverse process of differentiation. That's why we have to use this formula to find y. So just replace the values in the equation. You will have the integration of, we can write this down as, we can bring it up. You will have x minus 3 power minus 2 plus x by dx. Now we can simplify. So that will be, first we have to add 1 to the power, so that become minus 1, divide by power, and then we have to add 1 to the power, divide by power, plus c for y. So y will be x squared over 2 minus 1 over x minus 3 plus c. So now we have to find the value of this constant c by using the passing point 2, 7. So this is your x coordinate and y coordinate, so we have to replace that in the equation to find the value of c. So when y was 7, x was 2. That will be 4, 2 minus 1 plus c. That will be 7. That will be 2 plus 1 plus c. 7 equal to 3 plus c. C will be 4 for this value. So finally, y, which is what you need to find, it is x squared over 2 minus 1 over x minus 3 plus the value of c. And that is your question number 2. So now we have question number 3. Air is being pumped into a balloon in the shape of a sphere. Okay, now so that its volume, the volume of the sphere, is increasing, going up at a constant rate of 50 centimeter cube per second. Now, a sphere is just like a ball, but what is the formula for the volume of a sphere? So it is V equal to 4 over 3 pi r cube. That's what you need to know to do this question. Now, we know that the volume dV by dt is equal to 50. Why? Because the rate is increasing at a constant rate. The volume is increasing at a constant rate of 50 centimeter cube per second. It is given to you by the question. Now we have to find the rate at which the radius of the balloon is increasing. So we have to find dr by dt. How can you find this? So we have to find an equation that can help us to find this value. So if you observe, if you write dr over dt, it is equal to something. On top here we have dr, but at the base we have dt. So how can you relate these two? So if you observe, we have r here, r, but we have v here, so they can be connected by dv. So we use the chain rule to actually help us to find the values in this equation and then find this value as we need for the question. Now we have to find this when the value of r is 10, so r should be 10. So this we know already. It is given to you by the question as 50. We just need to find this one. So we know that v is given by 4 over 3 pi r cubed. So we can first find, from this we can first find dv by dr. That will be 4 pi r squared. From this we can find dr by dv. That will be 1 over 4 pi r squared. So that will be dv by dr. Now we want to find dv by dr at the value of r equal to 10. Why? Because it tells you here, when the radius is 10, find the value. So that will be 1 over 4 pi times 10 squared, which is 1 over 400 pi. Now the final step is just to replace the values in the main equation, which is dr by dt should be dr by dv, which is this one, 1 over 400 pi times dv by dt, which is 50. So simplify. That will be 1 over 8 pi, and the units will be centimeter per second. So how do we know it's centimeter? Because the volume is centimeter cube and the radius per second. So per second that will be dr by dt. That is your question number 3. Now let's move on to question number 4. So we have been given a curve. This is our curve for y equal to cos theta. That's the first thing. Now, the lower curve is this. The upper curve shows the result of applying a combination of transformation. So we know that we have transformed this curve below into the one above. Now, find in terms of a cosine function the equation of the upper curve. Okay, so let's see what happened. So let's observe. So at first you can see that the amplitude here is what? The amplitude first is 1, 2, so it's 2 at first. But now the amplitude has become 1, 2, 3, 4. Is now 4. So it increased by 2, right? So we have to write down 2 before the cos for now. Now what has happened? Let's see what can we also determine. We can see that the shape, before you can see, it takes 2 pi, it takes so from 0 to 2 pi, it takes 2 pi to complete one cycle. So from this point going back to this point, that is one cycle, so it takes 2 pi to complete one cycle. But now for the big one, it takes 4 pi to complete one cycle. So this is called the period of a curve, if you guys know. So how do you find period usually? You take period is 2 pi divided by the value b. So what is b? For example, if I have y equal to cos theta, the value b will be the value in front of the theta. So here y equal to cos b theta. Now b is 1. So for our lower curve, as you can see, was cos theta. So b was 1. So meaning that the period was 2 pi over 1, which was 2 pi. As we have seen here, the period is 2 pi. Okay, now if you understand that, we can move forward. Now, if you observe for the big curve, the period is 4 pi because it begins here. Now to come back to the same one cycle, it takes 4 pi. So how do you find period? You will take 2 pi divided by something equal to 4 pi. So from this we can conclude that b is equal to half. Why? Solve for b, you will get half. Now where does b belong? B belongs to the value right here. So as you can see, right now you have 2 cos half theta. So that will be the equation of the curve. Now let's see something. Because we have also something happened here is that at first our intercept, the baseline, which was the line in between the curve, so in the middle of the curve is called the baseline, was at the point 0, right? And now the baseline, so what is the baseline? So usually when you write an equation, you do this, right? You write y equal to cos theta plus something. At first that something was 0. That's why we didn't write anything here. But now, if you observe, the baseline now is here, right? It is the line which divides the function, the graph, into two of the, like exactly halfway the curve. So this equation is equal to y equal to 3. So which means that we have to write down plus 3 at the end, because that is our baseline. At first here there's no baseline because it was at 0. A was 0, so we did not need to write this one. That's why it was your equation. But now the baseline is 3. You have to write plus 3. So finally you conclude that it is 2 cos half theta plus 3. That is your new equation representing this curve above. Okay, let's move on to question number 5. So in this expansion, the coefficients of this and this are equal. Okay, so let's do that. So at first we have 2x squared plus a over x power 6. Now let's find the coefficient of x power 6. So if you want to expand this, you will do this first. 6, choose something, times 2x, and then a, so this is square, sorry, over a x something. Now, what power you're going to choose here so that when you expand, you will get x power 6. So right now I do not know. I can only do this by trial, right? So let's see. If I choose, let's say if I choose what? If I choose 2, what's going to happen? So if I choose 2 here, if I choose 2 here, this will be 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. This will be 4. So I will have 6 choose 2. That will be 15. So 15. And then this will become 16. 2 power 4 is 16. X2 power 4 will be x power 8 times. This is a power 2 over x squared. Now we simplify. This becomes 6, so indeed this will become 15 times 16, that will be 240. 240 a squared x power 6. See, so this coefficient of x power 6 is equal to 240a squared. Now we want to find the coefficient of x power 3. So same steps. If you were to expand this, you will take 6, choose something. We have the first value here times a over x. Again, by trial, we have to see what can we choose here so that we get x power 3. So what if we choose the value of what? Let's choose, if I choose 3 here, what's going to happen? Let's see. It will be 3 here, and this will be 3. 6 minus 3 is 3. Now if I expand this, that will be, what is 6 choose 3? 6 choose 3 is 20. That will be 2 power 3 will be 8. X squared power 3 will be x power 6. And then we have a cube over x power 3. Now simplify. This will go away. That will be 3. So your answer will be 20 times 8. That will be 160 a cube times x power 3. Now if you observe, the coefficient of x cubed is this. Now we say that these are equal, so we write down an equation, which is, we know that from question, 240 a squared is equal to 160 a cube. So let's send everything to one side. You will have 160 a cube minus 240 a squared equal to 0. Factorize a squared, you will have 160 a minus 240. So we will have two solutions. A squared is equal to 0, or 160 a minus 240 is equal to 0. So a will be 0, and a will be 240 divided by 160. That will be 1.5. So we have two values, but here we see that a is, find the value of the non-zero a. So we cannot take this one. A has to be 1.5, or you can write 3 over 2, up to you. That will be part A. Now for part B, we have to find the coefficient of x power 6 in this expansion. So let's try one by one. How would you expand this? You will take the first value, expand this one, take the second value, expand this one, right? So we know that this term here, that'll be 1. To get something in power 6, we have to times something in power 6. And we know that the coefficient of power 6 here is given to you by 240a. So 240 a squared, x power 6, minus x cubed. X cubed needs to times something in power 6. So we know power 3, sorry, to get power 6. So power 3, we know we have to use this one, right? That will be 160 a cube x power 3. Now you can of course simplify up to you. So you will have 240 a squared x power 6 minus 160 a cube x power 6. And this will give you 0. Why? Because you know that it is given to you that this value here is the same as this value here. Why? As you can see, the question tells you the coefficient, they're the same. So basically, we have used this here. This value here is the same as this value here. So here we have this, and here we have this. So this same minus same will give you 0. Or you can just replace the value of a if you want to. You can see you will have 0 as well. So that will be 0 as your answer. That will be question number 5. Now part 6. The equation of the curve is y. We have to find the coordinates of the point where the gradient is this. Now when you think about gradient, what's the first thing you think about? So gradient is actually dy by dx is equal to 4 over 3. So basically we have to find dy by dx from y. So y is equal to 2 plus plus 25 minus x squared power half. dy by dx is equal to 0 plus half 25 minus this, then we have to minus 1, of course. Half minus 1 is minus half, multiplied by minus 2x. Okay, so now we have to simplify. This one goes away. You will have minus x over 25 minus x squared power half. That is dy by dx. Right. Now we want to find the value of x when dy by dx is equal to 4 over 3. So cross multiply, you will have minus 3x is equal to 4 25 minus x squared power half. So let's square both sides. You'll have 9x squared, 16, 25 minus x squared. So 9x squared equal to, what is 16 times 25? That should be 400 minus x squared. We send this over here, you will have 10x squared, that will be 400. X squared will be 40, x will be root of 40. So root of 40 will give you the value of 6.32, correct to 3SF. We have to use the exact value because here we have to find the points, the coordinate of the point, so we have to use the exact value. So y will be the value of 2 plus root of 25 minus 40. So it seems that I did a mistake because that would not be possible if that was the case. So I think I made a mistake. Let me try again. It's given to me that y is equal to 2 plus 25 minus x squared power half. Okay, and we know that dy by dx, so the gradient is dy by dx, is equal to 4 over 3. So we want to find dy by dx from this. So dy by dx is what? The first value will be 0, makes sense. Then plus, we have to multiply by the power. That will be 25 minus x squared. We have to minus 1, that will be minus half. Then multiply by the d by dx of the inside value will be minus 2x. That will be simplified, that will become minus x over 25 minus x squared power half. That is dy by dx. Well, it seems I have the same value there too. Let me see what else did I have. And I know this is equal to 4 over 3. That should be minus 3x equal to 4 25 minus x squared power half. Square both sides, you're supposed to have 9x squared minus 16 25 minus x squared. Okay, so I see where I made my mistake. So when I expanded this term, I missed the 16 here. So that's my mistake. Now we have 9x squared equal to 16 times 25. That will be 400 minus 16x squared. So I missed that one from the first part. As you can see here, I missed the 16 here. So always be careful. It is really easy to make mistakes in math. Send this over here, you will have 25 x squared, that will be 400. X squared will be what? 400 divided by 25, that will be 16. So x will be plus minus 4. Now for x equal to minus 4, y will be what? Let's find the corresponding value. Y will be 2 plus 25 minus x squared, so minus 16 power half, which is 2 plus 25 minus 16 is 9 power half will be 3, which is 5. Also, if x equal to 4, it will be the same value. So we have 2 points here from what I can see, which is minus 4, 5, and 4, 5. But it's asking you for only 1 point. You will take the first point in that case. So this is your answer for the question. So it is asking you for only 1 point. And I don't see any. So yes, I think we'll have to take that value because let's look at this. 25 minus x squared more than 0, so you will have what? So minus x squared is more than minus 25, so x squared has to be less than 5, so 25, so x has to be less than value of 5. So yeah, I don't see any real restriction here. That's all the restriction that we have for actually no, yeah, this is not how we solve this. We have to do the graph. Let me see. So we have x will be equal to plus minus 5. The critical values will be this shape. That will be here or here. This is minus 5. Or this is the value of 5. This is the line 0. So yeah, this one will be 0. This will be between those two. So it has to be, x has to be between 5 and 5. So yeah, both values are valid, but it's only asking you for 1 point. So I will choose the first point in that case, which is this one, as my answer. Okay, let's move on to question number 7. So we have to show that this left hand side equal to the right hand side. So one by one, because we have different base, we have to make it become the same, and we have to multiply them by each other. You will have 1 minus sine theta times 1 plus sine theta. Then we can just cross multiply. You will have sine theta plus sine square theta minus sine theta plus sine square theta, right? Cross multiply, you will have this. Now simplify. This one will go away. You will have 2 sine square theta, and this one will become 1 minus cos square theta. Because you have to know this is like a minus b, a plus b, right? Which is equal to a square minus b square. So same steps, it will become 1 minus cos square theta. Sorry, sine square theta. So you become 1 minus sine square theta, because here, as we can see, we take a to be 1, b to be sine. This will give you cos square theta. So 1 minus sine square theta. So let's write that again. So it will be 2 sine square theta over 1 minus sine square theta, not cos. Now from this we can have 2 sine square theta divided by cos square theta. So this will become 2 tan square theta. And this is shown as required for part A of question 7. Now part B, as you can see, we have hence. Hence means we have to use the previous answer. So we know that this one from the previous part is given by tan square theta, right? Now 2, okay, that should be 8. So tan square theta should be 4. So tan theta should be plus or minus 2. Now we can take the first value to be tan theta to be minus 2, or tan theta could be plus 2. If it is negative, it will be in this quadrant and in this quadrant. You have to know this is all is positive, so it will not be here. This is the sign, this is tan. When tan is positive, it will be here, but when it is negative, it will be here and here. Now for this one, it is positive, so it is here and here for tan for this angle. So let's find the angle. So for this one, let's pretend we are finding the value of, let's take the positive value. So I like, it is not the answer, it is a trick that I use to find the answer. So my trick is, I like to call the angle x. So I would say let tan x equal to 2. Let's find x first. X is tan inverse of 2. X will be tan inverse of 2. X will be 63.4 degrees. Okay, now this is not minus 2. It is not the right answer, obviously. We are trying to find this angle and this angle. So this angle here is basically 360 minus x. This is 180 minus x. So if theta is actually these angles, So 180 minus x will be what? Minus 63.4, that will be 116.6, or it can be 360 minus this, that will be 296.6. Now for this one, it is already positive, so we don't need to do that step. We can take it directly, tan inverse 2. So this will be 63.4. That's the first angle here, or it can be this big one, which is you have to plus 180. 63.4 plus 180, that should be 243.4. So we have two possible values, two values here as well, but we have to look at the domain that we have for these two angles. It is only between 0 to 180, so everything outside will be cancelled. So we can only take two values. Theta will be 63.4 or 116.6. And this is your answer for part B. Let's move on to question number 8. So here we have a geometric progression. So we know this already. Let's write down all the formulas you know about geometric progression. So you know that sum to infinity is a over 1 minus r. Okay, that's something you know. And then also for the n term, so n term is a r n minus 1. So that's what we know about geometric progression. Now, let's see what is the question has. So we have a first term. A progression has the first term, so number 1. So that's my first progression. We have a as my first term, r as my ratio, and s as my sum to infinity. Good to know. That is for my sequence number 1. Now I have a sequence number 2, as I can see here, has a first term a, same term, good, ratio r different, and then we have sum to infinity 2s. Okay, so now we have two sequence with two different ratio and sum to infinity. So we have to use these information to show this. So how can we show this? Let's see. So let's see what can we use. So how would you express s here? So for the first one, s will be a 1 minus r. For this one, I know 2s, which is the sum to infinity, is simply a over 1 minus the big R. Now I have to find a way to, this is my equation number 1, equation number 2. Now I can replace this value right here, right? Let's see what you have. So you will have 2 times s, as here it will be a over 1 minus r is equal to a over 1 minus big R. Okay, so now we can do what? We can cross multiply. You will have what? 2a 1 minus r equal to a 1 minus small r. So here we have a will cancel out, so you will have 2 minus 2r equal to 1 minus r. So we have to make this become subject. R will become, we'll send this over here and send everything to here. You have 1 minus 2 plus 2r. So finally you have r equal to 2r minus 1. This is shown as required. Okay, so now it is given that the third term of the first progression is equal to the second term of the second progression. Okay, so the third term, so the un, which is the nth term, is given by this formula, which is a r n power n minus 1. Now, for sequence number 1, we are saying that the third term is what? It is a r n square, right? Because it is the third term. Now we are saying that for the sequence number 2, the second term is a r 1, right? So n 2 n minus 1 is 1. Sorry, this is r, is big R for the second sequence. Now we are saying that this is equal, so we know that u3 from the first one is equal to u2 from the second sequence. So basically we have an equation which is AR squared is equal to AR power 1. That's my equation. Now we have to express, that's my goal here, express S in terms of A. How can I do that? So in AtMath, in most cases, you have to know that why did they ask you to find this? There must be a reason why. So usually you have to think, maybe I have to use this value in my next part of my question. So let's write this down as well. R is 2 big R minus 1. So let's try to use this value and see what can we have for this one. So here we have R squared. So R squared, right? You will have 2R minus 1 squared. That will be 4R squared minus 4R plus 1. Replace R squared back here, you will have A times 4R squared minus 4R plus 1 is equal to AR. So A will cancel out, okay? Then you will have 4R squared minus 4R plus 1 minus R is equal to 0. You will have 4R squared. So minus 4 minus R will be this, plus 1 equal to 0. So factorize. You have 4R times R, 1 times 1. To get minus 5, we have to have minus 1, minus 4. So minus 4, minus 1 to get minus 5. Factorize. Look, if you guys don't know how to factorize, no big deal. Just use the formula. You know, we have a formula which is R equal to minus B, which is minus, B is minus 5, plus minus, B square will be 25, right? Minus 5 square, minus 4 times A, and times C, which is 1. Divided by 2A, which is 2 times 4. So if you guys don't know how to factorize, just go to the formula. Don't think too much, and just do that. So from this, you will have the value of R is equal to 1 over 4, R is equal to 1. Now, of course, we cannot take this value because for us to be able to have a sum to infinity, that is only possible if R is less than 1. So it cannot be this one. So R can only be 1 over 4. So using that value, we can find the value of in our main equation. So let's go back to see what can we use here. So this will be used here. Let's see what we have. So our sum to infinity was what? S was equal to A over 1 minus R. That was the sum to infinity that we know from the beginning. Okay. Now since we know the value, so this is the big R. So let's use the formula for the big R. For the big R, we had what? We had, or we can just find the value of from here, right? So let's do that. If big R is 1 over 4, small r will be what? 2 times 1 over 4 minus 1. That will be half minus 1 will be minus half. Okay, so small r will be minus half. So we have S A over 1 minus half, which is A over 3 over 2, which is 2 over 3, A as my answer. So S in terms of A will be 2 over 3, A is my value. So if I made a mistake here, let me know, because usually that is the only, not the only way, but as you can see, we have a method of using the values we have and then going down to the answer. I think it should be good. But if I make those stupid mistakes about plus minus, let me know in the comments, but I think it should be fine. Now let's move on to question number 9. So the diagram shows a circle with center A and passing through the point B. Okay, so we have A and B. Now a second circle has center B now and passing through the point A. So as you can see, it is pretty clear of what's happening in this diagram. We have two circles, and for the first circle the center is A, and for the second circle the center is B, and A lies on the second circle, P lies on the first circle. Okay, now we have a tangent at B to the first circle intersects the second circle at C and D. As you can see here, we have 2 points, C and D. It is on the tangent at B. Okay, good. Now we know that the point A and B are given by these two. Good. We have to find the equation of the tangent. Okay, so how would you find that equation? So pretty easy. The first logic we use is that if you were to just draw this, for example, the tangent is perpendicular to the radius. So what does that mean? It means that if you know the gradient of AB, let's find that first, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That will be minus 2 over 4, which is minus half. So from this, we can conclude that the gradient of the tangent should be 2. So now we just have to use this value here to find the equation. The passing point of the tangent will be B, which is 3, 2, that is x, y. So y minus 2 over x minus 3 is equal to 2 over 1. Cross multiply, you will have y minus 2 is equal to 2x minus 6. Y will be 2x minus 6 plus 2, y will be 2x minus 4. This is your equation of tangent from part A. And let's move on to part B. Find the equation of the circle with center B. So now, what is the equation of any circle? So you will have a form like this: x minus a square plus y minus b square equal to r square, where a, b is the center of the circle. So now we know this already, don't we? The center is b. B is given to you by the points 3, 2. This is basically a and b. So right now we have x minus 3 square plus y minus 2 square equal to r square. So right now we just have to find r square. Now r is the radius of the circle. How do you find radius? If you observe, the radius here is the distance between a and b. But if you know the 2 points, if you know the points a is given to you by minus 1, 4, we know the 2 points, you can find the distance pretty easily. Distance AB, that will be square root. Formula will be x2 minus x1. That will be 3 minus minus 1 is 4 square. And then, so this minus this, 2 minus this will be minus 2. That will be minus 2 square. So root 16 plus 4, that will be root of 20. That is your radius. But here we have r square. R square will be 20. So your equation will be x minus 3 square plus y minus 2 square equal to r square is 20. So this is your answer for part B. Now for part C, we have to find the x coordinates of C and D. Now, where is C and D? Look at this. So we know the equation of the tangent from part 1. We know the equation of the circle from part B, but C and D are just the intersection of the circle and the tangent. So let's do that, right? So the equation of the tangent, again, it is y equal to 2x minus 4. So basically now we take this as 1 and take this as 2 and solve simultaneously. Replace this one in here, you will have what? X minus 3 square plus y is 2x minus 4 minus 2 will be minus 6 square equal to 20. Now if you observe, we can do something here. X minus 3 square. If you take out the value of 2 outside, it will be x minus 3 square. Because it is inside the square, also will be square here. That will be 20. Now this is 1. So we can factorize this outside. X minus 3 square, 1 plus 2 equal to 20. Right, so what's next? You will have x minus 3 square is 20 divided by 3. Now we have x minus 3 is equal to plus minus root of 20 over 3. x will be 3 plus minus root of 20 over 3. So maybe let me check, because I did not receive an exact value. I can double check if I have the right answer or not. Let me try again. So the idea here is that y equal to 2x minus 4 is my tangent, and the circle is x minus 3 square plus y minus 2 square is equal to 20. So let me check also if my tangent is right or not. If I can see here, so here I have, if I cross multiply, I have y minus 2 is equal to 2 times x minus 3. I can just make this subject here. That's fine. That's okay. We'll see what happens now. As you can see here, we have what? Y minus 2 is equal to this. So here I have y minus 2 square should be giving me that same value as well. Should be giving me x minus 3 square. That should be 2x minus 3 square as a whole. I see my mistake now. So basically what happened was, again, pretty stupid mistake here. 2 square is not 2, is 4. See, I make mistakes like this, which is really dumb, huh? So that will be 5x minus 3 square equal to 20. So x minus 3 square will be 4. X minus 3 will be plus minus 2. So x can be plus 2 plus 3, or it can be minus 2 plus 3. So x will be 5, or x will be 1. Now you have to choose which one will be which. According to the diagram, you can see that if this is my x-axis, I have d first and then c. So I would choose this is 1, this is 5, right? So I would choose that the x coordinate of d will be 1, x of c will be 5. That will be my answer for question number 9. Okay, let's move on to question number 10. So we have a diagram here. I think the main point here, we have what? We have this diagram, we have a big sector, a circle inside of the sector with radius r. This is a tangent, but this is also the radius of the big sector. That's the idea we have right now. So what we need to find? We need to find CD in terms of r and sine theta. So where's CD? CD is this one. So let's see how can you find this. So by observation, you can see that CD, we can break it down into two parts. CD can be CO plus OD, right? So CD, CO plus OD. Now what is OD? OD, as you can see, it is the radius of that circle. So this is radius. So we just need to find CO. How can you find CO? So if you observe, you have a triangle here, like this, right? And this is 90, because this is the radius and this is the tangent, and this is 90. This is C, F, O. This is R, and this is theta. So to find the side CO, I can use SOHCAHTOA. I know this side, I know this side, which is the O side. I want to find the hypotenuse, I have to use sine. Sine of theta will be the opposite side over the hypotenuse. So this will be r over sine theta. So your answer will be what? We conclude CD will be r over sine theta plus r for the length of CD. Now for part B, it is now given that r is equal to 4, which is the radius, and theta is 1 over 6 pi. So to understand, if you want to convert this to degrees, so 1 over 6 times 180, which is 30. So theta is 30 degrees and r is 4. Part 1, find the perimeter of the sector CAB in terms of theta. Now, why is CAB? C is here, A is here, B is here. So we have to find the perimeter of that shape. So that will be CA plus AB plus BC. We know that CA and BC are the same. So that will be, so let's call this X. This is also X, so we know that it should be AB plus 2X, because these two are the same. These two are the same. But now what is X? If you observe, X is the radius of that sector, but also realize that X is also the same as CD, because this is also the radius of the sector. So X is CD. That will be AB plus 2 times CD. And CD, you have found this from part 1, which is A. So let's bring this back to this part. You will have CD is R over sine theta plus R. Sine theta is, sine is, so R is 4, sine theta is sine 30 plus 4. What is that value? So what is sine of 30? Sine of 30 degrees will be half. 4 divided by half, that should be 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. So which means that the radius is 12. Okay. Now the perimeter is AB plus 2 times answer from part A, which is CD. So AB plus 2 times 12. Now what is AB? If you observe again, AB is simply the arc length of that sector, right? So arc length is found by using the formula R theta is the angles, R is 12, and the angle here, if you observe, this is the small one, but we want to find the whole one, which is 2 theta. Angle here will be 2, theta will be 1 over 6 this. So when you use this formula, your angle has to be in radians, not in degrees, okay? So that's the difference. That will become 1, 2, that will become 4 pi. So conclusion will be P is 4 pi plus 24 for the perimeter in terms of pi. Now for part C, we have to find the area of the region in terms of this and this. So how can you find the area of this region? So let's see. We can first find the area of what? Of everything, if you want to. And then we can minus the one that we don't want. So that's one method to look at this. Or we can just do something here is we can first find the area of, so let's look at one. So first I would say let's forget about this side. This side, let's forget about this side, because this side is the same as this. Let's look at one side and we can just do one at a time. So if you observe, what is this area here? It is the area of the triangle, right? Area of the triangle minus area of the sector. Okay, so let's write that again. So let's call this area A. A is what? It is area of the triangle FOC minus area of the sector. This is sector OF. Let's call this X. OFX. Okay, so let's write this down so we understand. So piece by piece, the first piece that we have found is area of A is equal to triangle FOC minus sector FOX according to the diagram. So this A will be the triangle minus sector. So again, how do you find area of triangle? So pretty easy. It is a right angle triangle. It will be half time base times height. It will be half time base. So half time base is R. R is 4 times height. Now, what is the height of this one? So actually we don't know this one actually. Yeah, it is going to be hard to find this one because we don't know this length. But guess what? We have another formula to find the area of a triangle, which is, if you know this is theta, this has to be what? Theta is 30 degrees, which means this has to be 60. Right? Makes sense, right? This is 30, this has to be 60. Okay? Now, let me draw this triangle here. We have the triangle like this. This is 60. We know R is 4, right? And then what is this side? This is CO. CO was found to be what? CO was R divided by sine theta. So R is 4 divided by sine theta is sine 30. That should be 8. So we have this triangle. To find the area, we can do half times 2 sides and times sine of the angle in between, which is sine 60. That's the triangle. Now minus area of sector. Sector pretty easy. This is radius. So formula is half r square theta. Now the angle here, if you observe, 60 degrees, we have to write this in terms of radians. So we know that 1 pi is equal to, or we can say 180 degrees is equal to pi radians. So 60 degrees will be this divided by 180 times 60. That will be pi over 3. So this is the angle that we have to use, pi over 3. Okay, so now simplify. Cancel, 2. 2 times this will become 16 sine 60 minus, that will become half. R square is what? R square is 4 square, which is 16 pi over 3. Simplify, that will be 8. So you have 16. What is sine 60? That is an exact value that we need to know. So sine 60 is equal to root 3 over 2. So check. Root 3, that will be sine 60. So root 3 over 2 minus 8 pi over 3. Multiply, obviously. That is 8 as my answer. Now again, we have to simplify. Let me find some space here. So right now we know that this area is 8 root 3 minus 8 pi over 3. That is the area of only A. Of course, to find this whole area, we have to multiply by 2 because they are the same. So this is A, this will also be A, and the shaded area is 2 times A for the area that we need to find. That will be 2 times 8, this minus 8 over this. This should be your answer for this question. So the main idea here is correct. If I did some kind of minus plus mistake, just comment below, provide the right step, but the idea here is right. So to find this area here, we have to first forget about this piece. Look at one by one. To find this area A, we take the area of the triangle minus area of sector. So triangle can be found by using the formula half times the 2 side, which is OF times OC, and then sine of the angle, which is this one, triangle, minus area of sector, which is formula half r square, and then the angle is 60 degrees, which is pi by 3. Now once you have A, to find this area you have to multiply by 2 because they are the same. So that's the idea behind this question. Okay, and that is part C of the question. Let's move on to question number 11. So we have function f and g are defined by the following. Okay, so we have to find this one. Pretty easy. That will be f of g, which is g of x square plus 3. that is 2x plus 1 square plus 3. That will be 4x squared plus 4x plus 1 plus 3. That will be 4x squared plus 4x plus 4. That is your answer for part A. Now find an expression for this one, f of g inverse and its steady domain. So pretty easy. So we know that f of g is given by this one. So we have to make x become the subject of formula. So one thing is that with experience, you will know that whenever you have a quadratic equation and you want to find the inverse, you have to complete the square. So complete square is the next step. So let me first write this down as this. Let me factorize for outside. You will have x squared plus x plus 1. So this is outside, right? Now inside, we can do this. X squared is the same, plus x is the same. Now leave some space, right, plus 1. Now here, I have to plus some value. The value I will plus is the value in front of x, which is 1, divided by 2 square. Now when you plus something, you also have to minus the same value. Okay. Now we can write this down. This will become 4. X squared will become x. Put bracket here. Plus here will become plus. Half will become half. Square, square. And we have plus 1 minus 1 over 4. Let's simplify. You will have what? 4x plus half square. So what is 1 minus 1 over 4 times 4 will be plus 3. So this is your equation f of g of x, but it is complete square form. Now we have to find its inverse. So we first have to let y equal to this function. Okay, now we send this over here. You will have y minus 3 divided by 4. You will have this. Okay, and then you will have x will be square root of that value here, y minus 3 over 4 plus minus, of course, and then we have to send this one over here, will become minus half. So now we have to choose which one will we choose for the answer, the plus or the minus one. If you look here, it has to be more than this, so we have to choose the plus one. So finally, f x, so inverse, so let's write this down, f inverse of x, it should be minus half plus root of x minus 3 over 4. That will be your answer for this one. Now state the domain. Let's see how can we do that. Domain will be what? Domain, we have to look at the value inside. So the value here inside, we know that it has to be, for us to be able to have a square root, the value inside has to be more than 0. So let's do that. X minus 3 over 4 has to be more than 0. X minus 3 has to be more than 0. So x has to be more than 3. So domain is x has to be more than 3. That is my domain for my function. And that is my question for part B. Now let's move on to part C. We have to solve this equation. So first, f of g of x was found already. That is given by 4x squared plus 4x plus 4 minus 3 is equal to, what is g f of x? So let's see what is that. So g is here, so that will become 2 f of x plus 1. 2 times f of x plus 1, that will be 2x squared plus 6 plus 1, that will be 2x squared plus 7. So that will become 2x squared plus 7. Now simplify, let's send everything to one side. You will have 4x squared minus 2x squared plus 4x plus 1 minus 7 is 0. That will be 2x squared plus 4x minus 6 is 0. Divide by 2 everywhere because everyone is even, right? You will have this plus 2x minus 4 is 0. Factorize. X times x. 4 is 2 times 2. Or we can to get plus 2, this one it seems so how can we get plus 2? We cannot get plus 2 here, can we? Let me check. So b squared 4 minus 4ac, so it's not possible to, so seems to be something wrong here, because I can find the value. It's not exact. Maybe I did make a mistake. Let me try again. Right, so this one, let's check one more time. G of f of x will be g, x will become f of x, so 2 times f of x plus 1, that will be 2x plus 6 plus 7. That is okay. Okay, here we have this value which is found from part 1, which is okay. We have minus 3, that is become plus 1. Okay, so plus 1, then we have to send this value over here. Plus 1 minus 7 will be minus 6. So it seems that I have to solve by equation. So you get the idea. You have to solve this, and then you have an equation. Usually you're able to factorize. You can do that, but if not, then we can just use a is 1, b is 2, and c is minus 4, right? So x will be minus 2 plus minus root of 4 minus 4 times 4a times c, and then everything divided by 2a, which is 2. That will become minus 2 plus minus root of 20 divided by 2, so x can be 1. Minus 2 plus 20 divided by 2, that is 1.24, or minus 2 plus root of, so minus root of 20 divided by 2, or minus 3.24. So this will not be the answer because x has to be more than minus half. That is the goal. But let me double check one more time. If that is correct, you will have this one as your answer. But let me see if there's any mistake here. So that is okay. Plus 1. Okay, plus 1. Minus 7. That will be okay. Seems to be fine. But if you guys see anything minus mistake, let me know. But it should be this one as your answer, according to my step-by-step procedure. Now for part 12, let's see what do we have. We have this diagram, a curve, and we have to find, first thing we have to find the x-coordinate of B and C. Now where's B and C? B and C is the point of intersection between the line and the curve. So pretty easy. The line is this, the curve is this, solve simultaneously. So we have 3 minus x is 4x power half minus 2x. So let's send everything to one side. You will have 4x power half minus 2x plus x minus 3 is 0. That will become 4x power half minus x minus 3 is 0. Now let's send everything to one side. Make this become positive. You will have x minus 4x root of x plus 3 equal to 0. Now one thing we can do here is to let us make it simplify. Let u equal to root of x. So you will have u squared minus 4u plus 3. Simplify, factorize, you will have u. 3 is 3 times 1, minus 4 is minus 3 minus 1. So u will be 3 and u will be 1. Of course, we're trying to find x. Root of x is 3 and root of x is 1. X will be 9, x will be 1. So for x coordinate of B, it happens before C according to the diagram. So B happens before C on the x-axis. So B should be 1, x of C should be 9. That's the idea. Now for part B, I showed that B is the stationary point on the curve, so pretty easy. At stationary point, what do we know? We know dy by dx is 0. So let's find dy by dx. So dy by dx, let's use the curve here, right? So we know that y is given to us by y, 4x power half minus 2x. From this, dy by dx should be 4, same. So first multiply by the power, then minus 1, then minus 2. That should be 2 over root of x minus 2. That is dy by dx. Okay, so this is dy by dx. Now we know that this should be 0 at stationary point. So let's send this over here. So 2 over root of x over 2. So that means root of x, so by cross multiply you will have is 1. So x will be 1. So x1, we have shown that x, when it is 1, it is at the point B. So it is shown as required. It is the point B at 1. So this we don't know yet, but that's okay. But that's the point. Okay, so it's shown as required. Now for part C, we have to find the area of the shaded region. So let's see. So how do you find this area? So if you observe, we can break it down into a few pieces. So that will be the point C. We can draw a line here. This will be my triangle. And I can also, so to find, we can find, so area, so shaded area could be area of triangle minus area under the curve. So we have, this is my x-axis, my curve is like this. I can just minus the area here. Let's take up this area, so I can only have this one as my answer. So first let's find the area of triangle. Half times base. What is this point? This is the x-axis. This line is given to you by this. On x-axis we know that y is 0, so the x will be 3. That should be 3. So 3 to this point, what is the value? So we know this is 9. So 9 minus 3 is 6. Base times height. Height is this. What is this value here? So let's find out. When this is 9, so when x equal to 9, what is the value of y? Replace 9 here. 3 minus 9 is minus 6, so minus 6. The height is distance. Distance is 6. That will be 18. So area of triangle will be 18. Now we have to minus area below the curve. So to find area under the curve, we have to use integration for the curve. Okay. Now what is the limits? It is this point A till this point. So 4 to 9. Okay. So let's do that. 4 to 9. So we have 9 and 4 here. So it will be, first thing we have to increase by 1. That will be 3 over 2. That will be 3 over 2 minus 2. That will be 2 over 2. And simplify, you will have 8 over 3 x power 3 over 2 minus x squared. Limits 9, 4. So let's do that. You have 8 over 3. So 9, that will be what? 9 power, this is 3 over 2 is 1.5. That is 27 minus 81. 4 will be 8 over 3 times 4 power 1.5. That is 21, 1 over 3 minus 16. So let's see, what do we get? This will be 9. So 8 times 9 minus 81. That is minus 9 minus, so 21 over 1 over 3 minus 16. That will be 5, 1 over 3. Alright, so minus 9 minus answer, that should be minus 14, 1 over 3. Now, the reason why it's negative, it is pretty obvious. So let me explain the reason why it is negative. So usually what happens is, let's say if you have to find area under a graph. So usually the graph is above an area here. Let's say we have to find this area. This is found by using integration. Now, what happened here was the area that we found was actually, so our curve was something like this, and the area was like this, right? So we still use the same integration. So the reason why it is negative is because the area is below the x-axis. That's why it is negative. But the actual area itself is still the same value. So you will take the area as 14, 1 over 3, not the negative sign, okay? Because the area, that's what we need, and not the negative sign means it is just below the curve. Now finally, to find the shaded area, It is area of the triangle, which is 18 minus 14, 1 over 3. 18 minus 14, 1 over 3. That should be 2 over 3 units square as your area. And that is the last question of this paper. I hope that was somewhat helpful. As always, thank you for watching. I will see you soon.